Hi, I'm Candela, and I'm here today to talk to you about voting in Iowa. And specifically, this video is focusing on Southwest Iowa. And what I mean by Southwest Iowa is I kind of started with Pottawattamie County, but Pottawattamie County is in this district, which is here, and includes this little space here. And since these folks were just kind of right next door, I just kind of my attention sort of expanded to include this whole area. But I'm going to start with the core of Pottawattamie County. And so if you don't live in any of those areas, this might not be the best video for you to watch. I do plan on doing some other regional videos. They're not done yet. I can just do one thing at a time. So here we go, one thing at a time. In any case, this is how to vote in Southwest Iowa. And just to kind of let you know a little bit about me, I am somebody who believes in public schools. I'm somebody who is pro-choice. I'm somebody who is an ally to I'm somebody who is in favor of funding public schools. I'm somebody who, okay, just to let you know a little bit about me, I am somebody who is in favor of funding public schools. I am. Okay, just to let you know a little bit about me. I've done a few other videos. If you've already seen them, you know some things about me. I am in favor. Okay. Are you going to jump up here? Probably. Okay. Hi, just to let you know. Skip out hi. Just to let you know a little bit about me. I am pro-choice. I am a cat lover, and apparently my cat loves me too, because she wants to join me in these lovely videos. And I am in favor of funding public schools. I don't know if you can read my shirt, but yes, public schools. So the folks that I am advocating to get elected are people who represent one or more of those aspects. I don't know if this is a good spot for me to go into the whole, with our voting, sometimes we, okay. Just a quick reminder, sometimes with voting, the choice of who gives us everything we want isn't on the ballot. And so we have to take among the choices that are available on the ballot, who is going to give us the most of what we want. And since these are things that matter to me, pro-choice, funding public schools, an ally to the LGBTQIA plus community, if I can't have all of those, I'll take as many of those as I can with my candidate. And next year, I'll vote for somebody who gives me more of the things that I want within our within our representation. So all we can do is all we can do, right? And I'm going to cover it in cat hair. I don't want to be covered in cat hair. Okay. Let's put you. Okay. You can go here and be happy here. Really. You can be happy there. Lay down. Lay down. Good girl. Okay. Let me get you in the video. See how cute you are? Yes, you're adorable. Okay, refocusing. So focusing on Pottawattamie County, and I'm going to show you a couple of other things, a couple of other images that make it easier. Okay. Focusing in on Pottawattamie County. Yeah. Daisy knows right there, Pottawattamie County. There we go. Okay, so this image brings up the House districts. And here you can see, yes, Daisy, I love you too. Oops. Okay, so this image brings up the House districts according to the new, okay, so this image brings up, I need to leave that, okay. This image brings up the House districts according to the newly drawn map. And then, okay. So here I've zoomed into Pottawattamie County. Oh, wait, hang on. Let's go back to here. Okay, so, jeez, cat. Okay, so after a little bit of a challenge of how my cat wants to be. Okay. Okay, so here I've brought up an example. Okay, so here we've got a sample ballot, and this sample ballot goes in the same order. There are a couple of other videos already out where I talk about federal and state stuff, and I'm skipping that stuff for this video because it's in the other video. But here I'm going to focus on this last part of the state information. For some of us, we will have the opportunity to vote. For some of us, we'll have the opportunity to vote for a state Senate district and a state House district representative. So the state Senate district, this is just a smaller representation of the same map here. And so if you live in Pottawattamie County, your state Senate district might be District 10, which is over here, Council Bluffs area, could be District 8, or it could be District 6. And though this area isn't Pottawattamie County, I am going to talk about state Senate District 9. So if you live, so after, okay. So after the states, okay. So after the okay. After the federal stuff on the ballot that I discussed in the other video will be the state stuff on the ballot that covers, okay. In the other video, I cover the federal stuff, and I also discuss the offices. In the other ballot, I cover the information for the federal stuff and also for okay. In the other video, I cover the federal offices, and I also discuss. In the other video, I cover this. In the other video, I cover the federal stuff, and I also discuss the offices for the entire state, like the governor's office, Secretary of State, Secretary of Agriculture, and other important positions that we have an opportunity to vote for during this election cycle. 2022, right? We're here now, 2022. This video will focus on the smaller regional stuff. I think I've already mentioned that. So after you get through all the federal offices and the state offices, the very last couple of state positions are the state Senate district. If you live here, state Senate District 8 isn't up for re-election until 2024. However, I am going to put a plug in now that I don't know who we're voting for in 2024. And so if you know someone who should run, encourage them to run for that position. If you live here, so in this little nugget of Pottawattamie County, or in Ida, Crawford, Carroll, or Audobon, or Shelby County, our choices for Senate District. Oh, did I leave it? Yep, I think I did. Okay, we'll go get it. Okay. Oops, I didn't really do that. Resume. In the other video, I covered the information for federal and state, statewide. In the other video, I covered the information for federal and statewide offices. So if you haven't seen that, I encourage you to check that out. For this video, I'm talking about Pottawattamie. As I zoom in on Pottawattamie County, District 10, Senate. As we zoom in on Pottawattamie County, Senate District 10 isn't up for re-elect until 2024. Senate District 8, this one that covers these 4 counties, isn't up for re-elect until 2024. Senate District 6, which covers this little smidge of Pottawattamie County and also covers Shelby, Audobon, Crawford, Carroll, and Ida County. For Senate District 6, which covers this little smidge of Pottawattamie County and also covers Shelby, Audubon, Crawford, Carroll, and Ida counties. And our choices there are David Davis and Jason Schultz. And so of those 2 choices, I'm going to go with David Davis because I know that Jason Schultz is favoring the school voucher thing. If you haven't already heard me give my spiel about the school voucher thing, I encourage you to watch one of the other videos and listen to that. But basically, the school voucher thing, which Kim Reynolds, our current incumbent governor that I'd like to get voted out, is calling it school choice. And school choice ultimately means that she wants to take our public school dollars and put them in private schools, which essentially defunds our public schools. Now, if you live in Council Bluffs, you've got choices for public schools, or if you live in Des Moines, if you live in Council Bluffs, Des Moines, Sioux City, there are choices for private schools. But when you live out in Ida County or Carroll County or some of the smaller, more rural communities, not smaller, some of the smaller, some of the counties with a smaller population and more rural areas, there aren't any private schools anywhere near you. And so getting your kid to private school. And so in those cases, if your public schools are defunded, they end up closing, and then your kid's on the bus for, an hour a day to get back and forth to school. It's ridiculous. So I'm not really supposed to spend a lot of time on that in this video, so I'm going to move on. Public dollars for public schools. David Davis. David Davis is also standing up about that whole blah, blah, blah. Okay, I actually don't know. Anyway, moving on. Now, I know this isn't Pottawattamie County, but if you live in Senate District 9, so that's Cass County, Montgomery, Adams, Page. All right, so I know this isn't Pottawattamie County, but it's still part of Southwest Iowa, Senate District 9. So it's colored purple in this on this map. So that covers Cass County, Montgomery, Adams, Page, Taylor. Okay. So Senate District 6. I already said Dave Davis. So if you live in Senate District 9, which are any of these counties, Cass County, Montgomery, Adams, Page, Taylor, Ringgold, or this half of Union County, then your choices on the ballot are Tripp Nerup or Tom Shipley. And Tripp Nerup has a solid dedication to our public schools. He's also pro-choice and he's an ally for the LGBTQIA community. So therefore, he's automatically going to be my choice for that district. Okay. So now, where's my zoom out? So, quick civics lesson, as you know. Quick civics lesson. As you know, in our federal government, we have a president and we have a state. As quick civics lessons. So as you know, in our federal government, we have a president and we have a Senate and we have a House of Representatives. In our state government, we have a similar model in that we have a governor in Iowa and we have a governor, in our state government, we have a similar model in that in our state government, we have a similar model in that we have a governor and we have a state Senate and we have a state House of Representatives. So a minute ago, I showed you the Senate map, which looks like this. And this is the map for the House of Representatives for the state of Iowa. And so these folks go to Des Moines to represent us rather than to DC. And then so zooming in again. So zooming in again, we can, so zooming in again to this area and I go in a minute. So zooming in again to this area, if you live in Pottawattamie County and you live on the southern part of Council Bluffs, your choices are Elizabeth Christensen or Brian Seagrass. And I've already shared my values with you, and Elizabeth Seagrass is way, way, way more in line with my values than Brian Seagrass. So that would be my choice. She is also, her campaign, sorry, for Elizabeth Seagrass, her campaign focuses are transparency in taxes, especially property tax, helping to get other people to run for something, and ranked choice voting. Sorry. So Elizabeth Christensen's focuses for her campaign are transparency and property tax. Elizabeth Christensen's campaign focuses are transparency in taxes, especially property taxes, getting other folks to run for something, and ranked choice voting. And so she is definitely the candidate of choice if you live in House District 19. Now, if you live in House District 20, you may remember Charlie McConkey, who has been such a fabulous advocate for all of the values that I am interested in supporting. And Charlie McConkey has given his endorsement for Josh Turek. And Josh Turek is also, and Josh Turek is freaking amazing. If you haven't met him, talked to him, or checked him out, then I encourage you to do so. He is a Paralympic champion. And he's incredible. He's a strong advocate for people with disabilities, for inclusiveness and accessibility to people with disabilities in all aspects of life, including government. And he's just an incredible person and definitely deserves our vote. So for House District 20, your choices are Josh Turek versus Sarah Abduk, and Josh Turek is clearly the better candidate for that district. Now, if you live here in Pottawattamie County, or if you live in Harrison County, your choices are Bobby Fairchild, it's Robert Fairchild on the ballot, or Matt Winchittle. And if you've heard my whole spiel on school vouchers, you know that I'm voting against Matt Winchittle because he is for school vouchers. I am for Bobby Fairchild. I also have it on authority that Bobby Fairchild is pro bodily autonomy, which includes a woman's right to choose what to do with her body. Now, if you live in this area of Pottawattamie County, or if you live in Mills or Fremont, your House district choices are David Seek or run for something. I mean, we only have one choice on the ballot, and he's pretty awful. I have gone into longer spiels about how awful I think his voting record is. But when there's no one on the ballot, there's no one on the ballot. So this is my plug for if you know somebody, or if you are somebody who would consider running for House district to go to Des Moines, I would strongly encourage you to do so, especially if your values match mine. Similarly, if you live in this area, your choices are run for something or Brian Best, and Brian Best has been a pretty vocal advocate of the school voucher thing. If you live in this district, House District 12, which is either Crawford or Shelby, your choices again are run for something or Stephen Holt. Now, if you live over here in House District 17, which is Adams, Taylor, Ringgold, this section of Union County and this section of Page County, you have an amazing candidate in Pat Shipley. She is phenomenal, and she's a strong advocate for public schools, public dollars in public schools. If you live in this district, you don't have a choice. There's Thomas J. Moore is on the ballot, and I would encourage you to run for something. Okay, the next thing you'll see on your ballot Okay, so what I just covered would be this section here. This is a sample ballot from 2018, so these folks aren't on the ballot for 2020. So so I'm using a sample ballot from 2018 because as of today, September 9th, the sample ballots for 2022 aren't out yet. So this ballot that I'm showing you isn't an accurate representation, but it does give you an example of what it looks like. And what I just covered was the state representative stuff, and your state representative stuff is different depending on where you live in the state. After the state representative stuff would be the county stuff. And so the county stuff for Pottawattamie County. Am I sharing this? I might not be sharing this. I might not know where I am. I'm not sharing it. Okay. So I'm using a sample ballot from 2018 because the sample ballots from 2022 aren't out yet. And I hope they'll, okay. So I'm using a sample ballot on this video from 2018. The sample ballots from 2022 aren't out yet. What I've just discussed were, I skipped the federal stuff and I skipped the entire state stuff, but I talked about this last part of the state ballot, which this says State Representative District 15. And so those offices are the ones that I just discussed. After the state offices that go to Des Moines are the county offices, and this isn't accurate either. So after the state offices that go to Des Moines are the county offices that go to your county seat. And if you live in Pottawattamie County, if you live in Pottawattamie County, you have one county supervisor candidate that has my endorsement. His name is Jeff Shudak, and I encourage you to check him out. He is pro-people. He is pro-worker. He's been endorsed by so many different unions. He's been endorsed by women's rights groups, and he is just phenomenal. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He's worked in construction his whole life, so he says he's a plumber, not a politician. And he is running because he has seen how Pottawattamie County supervisors don't really know what to do with that infrastructure money that's being funneled from the federal government. And he has some great ideas and knows how to do infrastructure work, knows how to do construction in a way that county representatives have not been able to do or know so far. So Jeff Shudak. Now with the county supervisors in Pottawattamie County, you get the opportunity. With the county supervisors election in Pottawattamie County, you can vote for up to 3, but I'm going to encourage you to vote for 1, Jeff Shudak. And the reason why is because many of your other choices are either awful, not great, or, just okay. And the reason why is because your other choices are meh, not good, or plumb awful. And so funneling all of our votes into the one good choice gives him a stronger chance of being elected and serving on the county board of supervisors. All right, so that's for Pottawattamie County. Now, if you live so that's for Pottawattamie County. If you live in Mills County, I don't have any good news for you. There's not anyone that I am strongly in favor of supporting. There's not necessarily anybody I'm strongly opposed to either. I just don't have any good choices, so I'm just not going to mention anybody there. For Fremont County, we've got one good choice, and that's Clint Blackburn. He's a good choice because he is in favor of supporting public schools, and he's an honest, honorable person with the willingness to listen to multiple sides of a situation. While I'm down here, Fremont County does have Peter Johnson running for county attorney, and he is a good, honest person, upstanding member of the community, and I highly support his bid for county attorney for Fremont County. Now for Harrison County, Jennifer Munn has been doing a great job of county attorney, and for Pottawattamie, Mills, and I don't have the other information for any of the other counties. And the only other person I know on the ballot is Dolores Bristol, who's running for Soil and Water Commission for Pottawattamie County, and she is also a good candidate worthy of our support. So if you haven't already checked out the videos on who to support for state and federal offices, I'd encourage you to do that. They'll be linked here in one of the corners. And in the other corner, I will have my F-it video, which is how to F and vote in Iowa. If you want to watch that and count how many F-bombs I drop in that video, you can earn $20. So I appreciate you watching this. Please vote. Please encourage everyone you know whose values match ours to also vote. Let's really turn out the vote for this election 2022. Remember, there are 3 ways to vote in 2022. We can vote early in person at the auditor's office. We can vote by mail, or we can vote in person on election day, which is November 8th, 2022. Early voting is October 19th to November 7th. Okay, wait, hang on. So if you haven't already checked out my other videos, let me remind you that there are 3 ways to vote in Iowa this year. This is 2022. You can vote by mail, and to do so, you can submit an absentee request. Okay, so one option is to vote by mail, and to do that, you can get online right now, get an absentee ballot request form, fill that out, turn it in today, mail it into your county auditor's office, and they'll start mailing the ballots as of October 19th. Or if you're not watching this video until somewhere around October 19th or after, October 19th, 2022, then I'd encourage you to go to your county auditor's office. You can technically still fill out absentee ballot requests before October 24th, but if it's, you can technically still, okay. So one way to vote is to fill out an absentee ballot request form. Just use your search engine of choice, absentee ballot request form. It looks like this. So just use the search engine of choice, find an absentee ballot request form. It looks like this. You can fill it in. You can type it all in. Last name. So do I want to put my last name? I don't. So there are 3 ways. Absentee ballot request form. It looks like this. You can type in all of the spaces, or you can print it out and write it in with your handy dandy pen. You do have to include either your Iowa driver's license or your 4-digit voter ID. You do have to include your Iowa driver's license or your 4-digit ID. I've already gone into my rant about that, so I'm skipping it for today. You have to include all of this information, and then you mail it to your county auditor's office. You can do the search engine, find your county auditor's office. If you haven't already got your absentee ballot request form filled out and mailed in before October 19th, technically you can still do it until October 24th, but I'm going to encourage you, since early voting begins October 19th, if you haven't already done this part, that you just go to your county auditor's office and fill out your ballot between October 19th and November 7th. Again, you can just search for where is your county auditor's office, show up there with ID, tell them that you want to vote, and they'll walk you through the steps of how to vote. You've got the information here on who to vote for. And I also want to remind you that life's an open book test. You don't have to memorize. And I also want to remind you that life is an open book test. You don't have to memorize all this stuff. You can write it down, or you can do a screenshot and take your notes in with you. So important information, early voting is October 19th and November 7th at your county auditor's office. Voting by mail, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So who to vote for? U.S. Senate Franken, U.S. House of Representatives. I'm in Ryan Melton's district. who to vote for. Deidre DeGier for governor, Joe Miller for Secretary of State, Rob Sand for State Auditor, Michael Fitzgerald for State Treasurer, John Norwood for Ag, Tom Miller for Attorney General, no to McDermott, no to Oxley, no to Ehlers, no to the right to keep and bear arms because it's tricky. There's a longer video. Watch the other video if you want more information. And depending on where you are, Senate District, Dave Davis or Trip Narup, or you won't have a Senate candidate on your list. House District, Elizabeth Christensen or Josh Turek or Robert Fairchild or Pat Shipley, depending on where you are. For Pottawattamie County Supervisor, Jeff Shudak. Or Clint Blackburn, depending on where you are. Jeff Shudak, depending on where you're. Jeff Shudak, if you're in Pottawattamie County. Clint Blackburn, if you're in Fremont. And then for county attorney, Jennifer Munn or Peter Johnson, depending on which county you're in. Again, let me thank you for your time and for being willing to vote and to encourage everyone you know to vote this election season. It's so important. We've got to save democracy. We've got to save our public schools. We've got to save our right to choice. We've got to save our bodily autonomy. We've got to save our land. Have you heard about the carbon pipeline? Okay, not getting into that. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Bye-bye.